Welcome to the Dripping in Black podcast, where we celebrate Black excellence throughout the Black diaspora. Here's your host, David V. Lewis.
What's up, good people all across the world? It's the Dripping in Black podcast. I am your host, David V. Lewis. And per usual, we have another fantastic guest who represents Black excellence. Today's guest is Alicia Bradford. Alicia, say hello to the world.
Hello, world. Hello, David.
All right, so we got a pretty good conversation lined up, but I always like to introduce the guests to our audience. So we begin by asking who you are. So who is Alicia Bradford?
Well, Alicia Bradford is a young Black girl, Black woman, grew up on the Northeast Side, Cranswood, Conant Gardens, near Persian, all of that.
Indeed.
Two wonderful parents, younger brother, oldest of two, and just went to Detroit Public High Schools and, educated there, graduated from Wayne State and just moved around, did some things, life experiences, and been a public servant for over 30 plus years for the city of Detroit and Wayne County. But adventurous, spirited, bossy, or assertive, if we can say. So that's a little bit about Alicia Bradford, Alicia Mentor, aka Alicia Bradford.
Yeah. Yep. And of course, you and I, we go way back, and I've seen all of that, but you've always been fun and nice towards me. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We have quite a history, right? Your mother and my mother were the best of friends, or still are the best of friends. And that's how we come to know each other. We're like cousins.
That's
right.
That's right.
And then you have a brother who way back when I was rapping, this is going to tell on me, or tell on both of us actually, but I was rapping. I had a beatbox and a DJ.
We know what
DJ was her little brother, Arthur Mentor. DJ name was Artie Leet. Shout out to Artie Leet. And my pops and your pops were pretty close friends as well. So, we're really like family. So I just want to put that out there to our Dripping in Black audience. But let's get into.
That's right. I always refer to you as cousin.
Yeah.
That's how I refer to you.
Yeah. When cousin. I see you as cuz.
Right. It's cuz.
Back in the day, it was BB and Man.
That's right.
But we grown up, and I see you say, "What's up, cuz?" Right.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about your realm of excellence. One of your realms of excellence, and that is in the director of Park Services. Is it Park Services? Or am I adding
Parks and Recreation? Mm-hmm. No, it's fine. Parks and Recreation, same thing. Park Services.
Okay, for Wayne State, right? I mean Wayne County. Wayne County. My bad.
That's all right.
All right. So talk about how did you get to that position?
So just go long story short. So of course, I was formerly city director for City of Detroit, Parks and Recreation director for City of Detroit. Mm-hmm. Retired from there in 2016. Wow. But of course, looking back, like I'm too young to sit at home, needed health care. So it's like, you better find another job quick. And so the opportunity was available for Wayne County Parks Director. And I interviewed out a number of 10 candidates. And it was a process over about 3 to 4 months. And actually I was on vacation coming back from Vegas and turned my phone back on and saw a voicemail and a text saying, contact Wayne County HR so we can make this offer to you. And I was like, thank you, Lord. You know what I needed. And so took that assignment on. So I've been at Wayne County Parks since 2016, just managing all of the parks under Wayne County, as well managing the park millage for the 43 communities that make up Wayne County. So I interact with a number of parks and recreation departments across the county and about their park projects.
Okay. So when you said bossy as a description, it's actually, it's a reason for that as well. It's a boss to you. Right.
It's a boss to me. Yeah, yeah, boss to me and a talker to me. That's right.
So I'm curious, as a parks director, what's a day like? What's like the day in the life of a parks director?
So it's pretty chilled, but there are some interesting days as well. Because I mean, it just comes at you, and people would think that it's like slow moving. It's not really
Mhm.
eventful, but it is. Besides programming for residents, beside working on capital infrastructure, working with our team development. It's just on a daily basis. I'm coming in, doing a lot of process pieces as being the administrator. So budgets, as I said, the park millage, dealing with any issues that may come up operationally.
Mhm.
But it can run the gamut from, especially with this COVID, I'm
Mhm.
trying to make modifications to specific areas in the dog park because people don't want to social distance. And so I do something and they send me a letter. Please put our benches back. We promise, we're social distance. And I'm like, if you don't, I'm gonna take it back out. So it runs the gamut on a daily basis. But my team work with a good team, and it just again depends on the day. But it's not a dull moment, at Wayne County. It's not a dull moment when I was at the city as well. But
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. I can say I really enjoy it.
Yeah. So, I'm laughing aside because you said you move those park benches, but you don't literally move them. You just make a phone call and they get moved.
Yeah, I do that, but I got a good team, but I do help them too. So I do chip in and help when time calls for it. But
Okay.
no, I just
Well, if
usually make the call and they make it happen. Yeah.
that's where I'm trying to get. Just make a phone call and make stuff happen. I'm not there yet, cuz.
Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to take you too fast.
So you talked about city of Detroit, right? So was that the same position just at the city level, or was there some nuanced differences there?
So pretty much the same position at with the city, but the city had more detail, a little bit more intricate than Wayne County. At Wayne County, I'm just dealing with parks infrastructure. I have golf courses, a marina, and water parks. So the Chandler Park Water Park, in Chandler Park is actually Wayne County's. So that's what I have Wayne County. But with the city, it ran the gamut. I had parks, I had recreation centers, I had Belle Isle was one of the parks under recreation. I had Shane Park, Hart Plaza, the
Wow.
cemeteries, marinas, golf courses. So all of that was, and I'm probably forgetting something too, but all of that was City of Detroit. So it was a larger swath of responsibility and a larger. So those are some dynamic stories on that end. Now, if you want to hear some what a day was like over there. That's interesting. But that had just a little bit more. I won't say. I'll just say a little more depth, even though Wayne County Parks is fulfilling just the same, but it was just a little bit more intricacy to the City of Detroit Parks Department. Yeah, but it was it was
Okay.
it
Yeah.
was
Well,
good
you
learning ground, good detail for that.
yeah, you can definitely be ready to share one of those stories. But I got a couple of questions I wanted to ask. So, um, did you set out to get that position? I'm curious. How did you get into this field?
So no, I didn't set out to get that position. When I was, going to school, college, my whole thing is I wanted to go to law school and be an attorney. But I was still
Mhm.
working, working for the city and going to school. And so I just was, meeting different people. Different people took me under their wing. And actually, I was in human resources, and the
Mhm.
position came up in Belle Isle to be the Belle Isle assistant, and the director for recreation at that time reached out to me and asked me to interview. And I interviewed, I got the job. And so I was the first Black woman to run Belle Isle, which is the fifth largest urban park in the United States. Thanks to
Wow.
somebody calling me to encourage me to interview. And then from there, just matriculated up and then actually was appointed because directors are appointed by the mayors. So was appointed really to the deputy director position and people can say what they want, but Kwame Malik
Mhm.
Kilpatrick is going to be my boy until the end. And
Okay.
so he appointed me as the deputy director, and then again, subsequent mayors appointed me as their director. So that's how I really got into the administrative portion of recreation. Somebody that saw something in me reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want you to look at this opportunity and apply and interview." And then I was successful and then it moved up from there.
Wow. That's pretty big of Kwame to do, considering that he went to Cass and you went to Renaissance.
Yeah, it was, because we were some dueling people on that end. We were some dueling people, but I appreciate him looking past that rivalry and recognizing that I could help, at that point in time, just lead that department.
Yeah. So first black woman over Belle Isle. So it has to be a plethora of black women that were parks director for Wayne County. You couldn't be the first.
No, not for Wayne County. And actually, my predecessor, and we were both counterparts, who's now my boss now, my predecessor, Beverly Watts, was the first
Okay.
Black woman parks director for Wayne County.
Okay.
Yes, she was. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
And
she
would
trailblazed that over there.
would that make you the second?
I am the second.
Okay. Okay. Wow. That's pretty good. So I guess my question is, in your field, do you see a lot of women kind of holding these positions, or um, are you more of a rarity, and Ms. Watts more of a rarity?
I would say initially, probably a few years or so ago, we were probably a rarity. I'm
Okay.
seeing more women on my national level, and actually, I was president of our Ethnic Minority Society for our national level. So where we fostered trying to recognize a lot of, African American women in leadership position in recreation. So now it's starting to kind of tilt a little bit, but it's still predominantly white males, white
Yeah.
women, and then Black males, and then Black women. But we're starting to see, again, those kind of transition into leadership positions in this field, and not only in recreation, but other fields, across the world.
Yeah.
Just a shout out to our VP, just shattering that ceiling with that.
Indeed. Indeed. Yep. And so in the pre-show, we talked a little bit about women going big in areas of their career. Talk a little bit about that thought process for you. What does that mean for you?
So I think probably in my 30 plus years of working in public service, and just the wonderful dynamic women I've met that are close friends or associates or that I've done business with, I think a lot of times we as women, and I don't really think it's just really um, kind of myopic to African American women.
Mm.
I just think women in general,
Okay.
that we tend to doubt ourselves with the skills and the knowledge that we have in order to be those executives, in order to be those leaders, in order to run our businesses, initiate programs, whatever the case may be, because we don't think, we just don't have it. And through just training and experience and just talking to a lot of folks, I've just learned that you got to go for it. You got to
Yeah.
go for it. You have the tools, you have everything in you to make it happen. And if you don't, a lot of, we're smart enough to ask the right questions or get the right people around us so we can be successful, not being threatened if somebody has another area of expertise that
Mhm.
we don't have, learn from that person. And that person, if they're working for you, are going to make you excel anyway. And I think we tend to put a pause, we tend to get into self-doubt. I've done that myself,
Mhm.
just thinking of past mistakes or thinking of just being focused in one particular area, having a specialty in one particular area that it can't transfer into a larger picture and I've talked myself out of applying for positions or doing certain things
Mhm.
because of it. And I'm just, kind of just boldly professing now that I'm going big,
Mhm.
big, that I'm going to stretch outside of thinking I can't. And then big, my church has a theme going on. Going big means believing in God. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Going big, believing in God. So anything that I want in obedience, it's gonna manifest. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And just cut out that self-doubt. And that's just double, just kind of just double thinking things. You want to be thoughtful, but not just keep talking yourself out of a
Yeah.
situation instead of talk yourself into a
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
If it's good.
Yeah.
Now, not no craziness, but if it's good.
Yeah. Affirming good things.
Right. Right.
Okay. So that's great. That's a great conversation. I think my thought was around this concept of challenges, because you start off in Detroit and you go up to Wayne County. You retired in between. Uh, was that a smooth sail from one position on up, or did you have some challenges along the way?
What were some challenges along the way? And like, cuz I'm transparent, because your audience that's listening, they may learn something from me. I've learned lessons. It's all part of where we are
Yeah.
in life. And so it was a challenge, when I retired from the city of Detroit, and I mentioned appointees, that you're appointed by the mayor. So it's depending, you're at the wheel. So it's depending
Yeah.
on if he likes you, if she
Yeah.
likes you or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't get down to if you're excellent in your job. It's just about sometimes personalities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's challenge there. And then it wasn't a challenge for me to go from there to transition over to Wayne County, because it's again a little more smaller organization, as far as the parameters of responsibility. So that was not difficult.
Okay.
It's just learning the business and how to operate over at Wayne County. But there's still challenges there. Anytime, it's still level of politics. It's still a
Yeah.
level of people understanding and not understanding your business. It's still a level of competitiveness, um, and sometimes some fearsome dog eat dog type of scenarios. And so
Mm.
you got to stay alive best as possible. But it's not an easy walk, but I think I take it all in stride, the challenges, even the failures, from those, and just kind of taking the lessons and moving forward. Yeah.
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 So, as a young woman, you get into the game, and now you're more seasoned in the game. Um, what could you tell that younger person? So, if somebody is entering the game that you're in at the age that you entered, what's some advice that you would give them?
I would definitely tell them, I think what I've learned is, I think when I started was just have your plan, but understand your plan may not always work. You got to know the flexibility, and you got to be able to recognize, don't stay married to an ideal situation, because that's all part of your plan. I think
Mm.
you need to have a level of flexibility and know that it may need to go in another direction for you to get the fulfillment, both personally and professionally, and the success that you need. Like I said, if I stayed down my goal of going to law school and being an attorney and, being a poli sci major, I would not have got to this level. Not saying that in that plan, it would not have been some success,
Yeah.
but I think it's just designed on how it's supposed to go. The other thing is, don't think you know everything,
Yeah.
because you have, major education, or some folks that may be in the area that you're entering in may not have aspired to get to certain levels that you have. Kind of said, don't look down on people because
Mhm.
that's where they are.
Yeah.
And they'll come in like, I didn't ask, could I cuss? So I'm not going to cuss. But don't come in like the smart butt, like everything was going on. I think really recognizing what you know, they know what they know. How can you work it together so you all got to win in whatever you do? I think that's what I would tell them. And the other thing is, make sure you save your money. If you're making nice money, make sure you save your money instead of, taking your money and just buying and, travel. Enjoy the luxuries of life, but make sure you do that.
Mhm.
Invest properly, save your money. That when you get seasoned like me, you're good. You can
Mm.
relax, and you don't have to stress too much. Thank the Lord. But I would say that too. Start off early on, as early as possible, that you can do that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Great, great, great. So I got a couple of more things. And my 50-year-old mind is actually losing one of the things. But I know
I
you
know.
personally are very spiritual. So I just want to give you the floor to kind of talk about your spirituality and your church and that kind of thing. So you mentioned it briefly, but anything you want to share about your church life?
Thank you. Well, in that Northeast neighborhood, I've been a member of Church of Our Father for probably 40 plus years. And that's where I have my spiritual roots. And it ebbed and flowed because I think when you're younger, you're in church, your parents are there, you're doing things. And so I went through my moment probably in my 20s where I was kind of in and out,
Yeah.
still always grounded in God, but not
Yeah.
really going to church and being. And then I think late 20s, early 30s, just got back in it in service and in spirit as well. And so, just transiting, holding a number of positions there, but serving, using my gifts. And that's one thing, using my God-given gifts. And I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for that, because directing the choir and singing in the choir, I just love doing that. And then I think just being so tuned in spiritually to know that when you've I guess plateaued at a certain place and you want to have more, to
Hmm.
recognize that sometimes you shouldn't have loyalty to the church and
Hmm.
die spiritually.
Yeah.
And so made a difficult decision after being at my church for over 40 plus years to move to another church because
Yeah.
I just needed another boost, another level, another
Yeah.
big in my
Yeah.
spirituality for me. And
Yeah.
so, my new church, I love it just the same as I loved Church of Our Father. Church of Our Father will always be my home base,
Yeah.
but I like where I'm growing and developing even to another level spiritually. If you don't get the wisdom, and if you don't go to the next level in anything, but definitely in spirituality in your walk with God,
Yeah.
you're not doing nothing. Let me just say that
Yeah.
you're not doing nothing. I'm not admonishing people that, because you can believe who you believe in, Allah, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. But whatever you do in your spiritual connection, and make sure you're just right, in developing your soul and knowing, that what you're doing is good, and what you're trying to strive for is to be good and to emulate goodness.
Yeah.
So it's really major to me, and it helps me a lot. You mentioned them challenges and everything. It helps me in a lot of areas. If I didn't have that, I'm telling you, if I didn't have that, I'm already
That
crazy.
northeast side
I'm
might
a,
have
I'm
showed
a,
up.
hey, I'm moving my hands, but some people know me. They know. I'll be like, don't get it twisted. I will yank you, but folks that know me on the east side be like, okay, play well with others, but I be trying to keep it together. And I ain't nothing but the Lord. I'm gonna give them all the credit.
Yep. 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 All right. So a few more things. My next thing is, so you talked about you retired once and now you're at Wayne County. What's next from a professional standpoint?
I'm glad you asked me that, cause I'm ever evolving, and I love parks, and I've been in parks for 20 years and won some tremendous accolades, and appreciate, not bragging, just boasting on the goodness of God, and just awards that I received on a national level and across. But my next aspiration really is to take all of this administrative skills, this knowledge I've learned through my different roles in the city of Wayne County, and is to become a city manager
Okay.
for either a township, village, whatever, locally, or I may have to uproot and move somewhere. But that's
Okay.
my next career move, is to try to become a city manager. So starting off as an assistant, or and then definitely just move up to that. So that's the next move. That's my next aspiration.
Well, that's wonderful. We're looking forward to that, and we can have our first city manager on the Dripping in Black podcast when that comes to fruition.
Hey
All
now,
right.
hey now, that sounds good.
All right. So our closeout question is: have you ever been on the cover of a magazine?
No, no, I haven't been on the cover of a magazine. I've been in some magazines, but not on the cover. Not that I can recall. No, no. In some, but not on. Oh
right.
my God.
So one of the treats we give our guests is we put them on the cover of the Dripping in Black magazine, and that's for their episode. All right, and so you made the
Wow.
cover.
Wow. Wow. I'm almost about to tear up because I'm for real. I am for real because I mean, it's just wonderful of what you're doing with Dripping in Black and just, just recognizing us, and I mean us and everyone and what we're doing as African Americans and people of color. And I'm just really
Yeah.
proud that you saw fit to put me on your magazine. Oh, I'm about to tear up.
Yep. So that is a parting gift that we will get out to you in the not too distant future for showing up for us. And the pleasure is all mine. I think the audience will see why we had you on. Of course, you have the position of parks director, but it's that spirit that I wanted to capture on camera that I think shined through in our discussion. So we thank you for coming out and gracing us.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity and you staying at me for it. I appreciate it. And again, proud of you and what you're doing.
Yep. Well, I'll see you soon, cuz.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Take care.
Up next, the last drip.
A Dripping in Black thanks to our guest, Alicia Bradford, for sharing her story, as well as those words of inspiration and encouragement to go big. She is truly good company to keep, and I know that this story is going to inspire many, many others. However, we have reached the final segment of our podcast called The Last Drip. The Last Drip is the last opportunity for us to squeeze in a bit more of Black excellence for you. In this final segment, we highlight a common thread between our guests and our vast and rich African American history. Alicia's future aspiration of becoming a city manager in the not too distant future brings our focus of this episode's last drip to a person by the name of Shirley Clark Franklin. Born in Philadelphia in 1945, Franklin grew up in the city of brotherly love. In 1963, at the age of 18, she participated in the March on Washington, where she was inspired by both Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King. After high school, Franklin attended the prestigious Howard University, graduating with a bachelor's degree in sociology in 1968. In 1969, she would earn her master's degree from the University of Pennsylvania. She would go on to teach political science at Talladega College in Alabama for about a decade. In 1978, Franklin's political career began to take shape. She was appointed by Atlanta Mayor Maynard Jackson as the city's Commissioner of Cultural Affairs. When Andrew Young succeeded Jackson as mayor, he appointed Franklin Chief Administrative Officer, aka City Manager, making her the first woman in U.S. history to be appointed to this post. One of her major accomplishments in this role was helping to bring the Olympic Games to Atlanta in 1992. In 2001, Franklin hit another milestone when she was elected Georgia's first African-American female mayor, as well as the first woman to be a mayor of a major southern city. She served 2 terms as mayor from 2002 to 2010. From 2004 to 2019, Franklin received numerous honors and awards, including Governing Magazine's Public Official of the Year, one of Time Magazine's top 5 mayors in the country, the John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award, and the Diversity and Inclusion Awards Lifetime Achievement Award, to name a few. At the tender age of 75, Ms. Franklin is still going big, using her voice and influence to improve the lives of those around her. So in honor of her ongoing trailblazing work as a municipal leader, she is this episode's last drip. For more on Shirley Clark Franklin, check out nps.gov, the100-7.org, vulcaralliance.org, and blackpass.org. My thanks to all of these websites for the knowledge. For pretty much everything that we are able to accomplish today, there is someone from our rich African American history who blazed a trail for us. Do yourself a favor and learn about them. And remember, until next time, be good, be good, be good. It is a choice.
You have just experienced a Dripping in Black production.